Hi everyone, this is sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash and this is your home for the college bowls. We're off to Texas and it's the Alamo Bowl between number 11 Utah versus the Texas Longhorns, who have, they've been overrated or they've just underperformed. I'm joined by Big Ragoo and by the Big Boss, looking at Utah having to give up 7. The total's 55, and I'm going to come to you, Ragoo, and tell me why Utah a -7.
A lot of turmoil in the state of Texas. Texas is lucky that they're playing to the neighboring town of San Antonio, so their fans might show up for, maybe Texas might not show up for this game. Who knows? The way they've been playing, like you said, they've totally disappointed and underachieved this year. They were talking about aspirations for the college football playoffs, and they didn't even get a whiff of that. But and here we are again with Tom Herman in an underdog role. Now he's already fired his offensive coordinator. He's bringing in Chris Ash, not for this game, but next year. And he's already fired his defensive coordinator. So he's a coordinator list type team right now. And Utah, they come off of that drubbing of the Oregon game, so they had, this might be a big letdown for them also, because they were right there on the cusp of playing in the national championship possibility. So I think Utah wants to get right this game. I think Texas has got way too many question marks on defense. I mean, it's like a runaway freight train if you're going up against this team. They can't stop themselves. They can't get in their own way. So I like Utah here, even though they might be a little less motivated because they missed a big game. I think they want to make a statement here and come out and play tough.
I wrote down motivation, Big Boss. I'm giving up the 7, but Utah are 11-2, and they only missed out for me by the championship games by a whisker.
Hey, first I want to address is how many times are we going to say about this coach in the underdog role? He missed that plenty of times this year. They're 6-6 ATS. Like Big Ragoo said, they're having a bad season. I'm sure everybody lost a little money and really not feeling Texas in this spot right here. Now, I wasn't really high on this Utah team. It was one of the teams I kind of had to gain respect for as the season went on, and I'm happy for them. 11-2 is great for them. Maybe they should have been somewhere other in a different bowl or something, but they're in a nice spot right here playing against Texas. Pac-12 versus Big 12 right here. This is something that happened. Every time I think about this, I think about Vince Young putting the team on his shoulders and going in for the touchdown against USC. But I don't know. I don't want to take a side or a total or nothing in this game. I really don't want to have much to do with it. But if I had to do something, I'm going to go ahead and back the Utah because of the defensive performance over there. They're holding teams to 256 yards a game. That's like top-tier defense in college football right here. And this Texas team, they struggle with everybody. Good teams, bad teams. They've struggled. The only time they ever showed real faith that they were a real motivated team was early in the season, and it was in their home games when they were sweating LSU out in the locker room and all that good stuff they tried to do. But after that, it's been a disaster. This Utah team's not going to just openly open up the field and let them do anything. So it's going to be a battle. I don't know, maybe lean under, but the 7 does bother. I think this game should have been like 3 or a pick 'em. But 7 does bother me. But hey, roll with Utah. Take the -7. I can't really see putting my money on Texas, and I can't keep going with this guy is great in the underdog role, and he's 6-6 ATS. It just hasn't been working out this year.
No, I hear you, Big Boss. But Ragoo, I've got to come back to you because we know that it's going to be in Texas. We know that it's going to be almost like a home crowd. The thing is with the Longhorns, they are like homers. It'll be typical of them to turn up and put on a show, and they're getting 7. I mean, would you prefer to be with the 7 or against the 7?
I'm like DJ. I'm not crazy about the 7 on the laying the 7 with Utah, but I just think with the way Texas, with their inconsistencies and trying to put pieces together, a lot of moving pieces here, I think probably Utah would be the more focused team, especially coming off of that loss. And Texas is probably just glad to be playing in the bowl game the way their season went. So I would still lay the 7 in this spot here.
Okay, well, if you want to go with the 7, it doesn't really matter. You go to Utah, -7, the total's 55. So if you want the +7, you can still go with UWager. That's sportsbookreview.com/UWager. And just, I tell you what, flip a coin. You go with Utah, you're going to give up 7. You go with the Longhorns. Good luck. You might have the crowd on your side. Whether you get paid out at the end, it really is 50-50. It's a horrible game to be taken aside. Maybe it's an in-play. Make sure you go over to UWager, press that button, and have a good look. Be sure to join us next time when we're off to Tampa. That's Big Ragoo's area for the Outback Bowl. You take care.